Hey everyone, this is Wester70 with the monthly strategic gaming review for September 2014. Today we're looking at 6 games including Banished, Rimworld, Wargame Red Dragon, Europa Universalis IV, and Ultimate General Gettysburg. All of the games are available on Steam except Rimworld, and you can find the link below in the description. Banished is a survival game set in an undefined period of time, but more or less appears to be a medieval period. There isn't a lot of storyline, which I think in the future might provide some interesting opportunities for the developers and modders. You start by adjusting the level of play, difficulty, and map. Having played this game several times, I highly recommend you invoke natural disasters as part of the game. Otherwise, it's too easily and quickly turns into a building game with little or no challenges. You won't like the disasters, but they will force you to adapt a survival strategy to avoid starvation or freezing. It's quite sad to watch your little village freeze to death and the little cemetery fill up with your people, except for the last one who is frozen somewhere in the woods. The game has a lot of opportunity, and I assume the building and tasks will become more complex with time and additions. I quickly operationalized all of the resources, found a balance in food production, and after that simply expanded across the map. It's a good game, and with continued tweaking from the developers has the promise to keep you challenged. The game is not difficult, but it is fun to play. The next game is another survival game called Rimworld. I have played this in many versions and it is currently in alpha mode. Another survival game, but this time set in the future on a distant planet. You're dropped on a planet and basically have to find shelter, food, and technology to survive. There are alien creatures, other humans, and a variety of interesting animals that inhabit your world. There is a AI storytelling feature that creates a backstory for you and then inserts various challenges to keep you on your toes. I played it initially on a higher difficulty and found it to be too frustrating, and that no matter what I did, the game kept throwing enemy forces at me in overwhelming numbers until I was destroyed. Basically, you were playing against your old games to see if you could survive longer. I didn't find that to be very satisfactory and settled on a more modest scenario where the enemies were less intense and you could build to your heart's content. As I said, the game is still alpha and has the excellent potential for becoming a classic survival game. It'd be interesting if it turns multiplayer and how they handle PvP. The mechanics are pretty simple and you'll have fun playing this one. The third game is Wargame Red Dragon. This has been out for a while and I decided to give this version a try. I played the previous incarnation of the game, Wargame European Escalation, and enjoyed that. I played the scenario in this game and found it to be a bit confusing in terms of when to bring in units to different locations, but I believe that's just because I haven't played it enough to be familiar with the strategic micromanaging part of it. Where the game shines is the battlefield preparation, placement of units, and resupply of your forces. It's a real-time strategy with options of going very slow. Once you have practiced playing it, the commands to your forces become easier and your responses more appropriate to the threats. Offensive operations are a lot of fun, particularly when you can sneak in behind and hit them from the rear. The scenarios are fun in multiplayer or single player, but the real battles and tests are in the multiplayer. I'm not practiced enough to try that, but from other players' videos, I can see you'll have fun. Just be prepared and practice first. The game is all about micromanagement and will demand your full attention. Europa Universalis IV is another game that has been around for a while, but I have never had the opportunity to mess with it. It's a real-time strategy game, but in this case you'll be speeding up the game a lot to achieve technology, trade, and other elements that require time. The game time is essentially 1400s Europe, with nods to India, Greater Russia, Africa, the Middle East, and the New World. The game mechanics have a lot of depth, which is code for you have a lot of stuff to learn. However, it's well worth the time and you'll be rewarded with days of entertainment. One of the things I liked from the very beginning was the option to choose any of the countries on the map from the smallest to the largest. Usually you're only given one, but here you have lots of choices. Makes for challenging gameplay to say the least. I'm only in my first game, but having a lot of fun with it. I think this game has a lot of interesting aspects to it that will provide days of gameplay. The downsides, lots of stuff to learn. The upside, challenging gameplay and a great deal of diversity. No cookie cutters in this game. Now the last game is my favorite, and that's Ultimate General Gettysburg. Real-time strategy set up around the Battle of Gettysburg. You can battle either side as the armchair general. You direct your attacks and lead them to battle. They carry out your orders and react to enemy movements and attacks. The AI interface is superb, hands down one of the best I've ever played. The map that you play on is superbly designed and a mixture of expertly created terrain, sufficient typography to know where you are historically, and without a lot of clutter or noise that might normally confuse you or your objectives. When you get done playing a battle, one of the many that were actually fought as part of the larger effort, you will be awed by what you have done and, more importantly, what happened then. I can't imagine walking away from any of these battles without a greater appreciation of the carnage and courage it actually took to be there. I hope you enjoyed the strategic summary for the month of September 2014, and like and subscribe to show your appreciation. If you have a game you'd like me to review, just let me know. Thanks again for watching. See you on the battlefield.